You know, one of the things we've been talking about in community over the last few weeks and even in our community group is to be real and be authentic and be raw. And I think it's even more so with fostering. Ever since I've known Alison, she's always wanted to be a foster parent.
I don't know if that's entirely true.
It's not? Well, it seems like
I wanted to be a parent, but
well, that was it.
I knew that because of teaching, I knew that there was a need there and couldn't really avoid that.
Yeah, but I didn't want to do it.
No.
At all. We used to get knocked down drag-outs about it because all I saw was orphanage when we would talk about it. And
I had talked to you about it for years and finally just stopped talking about it and prayed. And one day we were driving to Applebee's for dinner with some friends and you said, "So I called TCFS today." I was like, "What?"
God just really started working on me, using you, using the surrounding culture, and so we jumped in, and we've had 12 kids now, something like that,
12 kids
in our home over the last 4 or 5 years. 6 years? Has it
almost
been that
6
long?
years.
And it's been incredible. And I mean, we wouldn't have known our daughter had we not stepped into that. I can't imagine having any more love in my tank for a child we gave birth to. I mean, I'm just not even sure that that's possible. You know, I told you this story recently. I used to, growing up, I used to want 10 kids.
You told me that when we were dating.
Dating, that's right.
I thought you were crazy.
Well, and that's
now we've had more than that.
Now we've had more than that. So, you know, God's got a sense of humor from an aspect of, it didn't look at all like I thought it would look. It didn't look like you thought it would look. You, I'm sure, experience this. I have people every day tell me that how do you let them go? I could never do that.
That's the main pushback that people give is, I could never be a foster parent. I could never attach to somebody like that and then let them go. And
what do I say?
You say, then you'd be perfect for it. You're just the person that we need.
If it doesn't hurt a little bit, you're not doing it right.
It does hurt when we let them go, because we have attached to them, but that's what these kids need to heal. They've been through trauma and we don't know what's gonna happen with that, and it'll be devastating.
Sometimes it really hurts. And that's okay, because they need to see that too. And so the impact that I see, the correlation that I see from the ability for me to bring in and embrace the unknown, embrace the hurt, embrace the pain, embrace whatever that is going to happen with these children. It's just a way that Christ engages with us. It's a way for us to see his heart, to see how he scoops down and picks us up and puts us on his lap. Says, I got you. I can do that with a kid. I can have an impact. That's why I can't get away from it. That's why no matter how hard it is, how many times I have to watch my baby girl cry and my wife cry, and I say I can't do anything about it because we signed up for this. It's the reason I go back. They need somebody to love them.
The other thing I hear so much from people is, I could never put my own kids through that. And we don't have biological kids, but I mean, Stormy's been ours since she was tiny. She's ours forever. And she's never known anything else but kids moving in and out of our house. And she's incredible. She's so much stronger for it. And I read something on Facebook the other day, somebody posted, when you bring your biological kids or your adopted kids that you've had since they were little into foster care, they are getting to literally watch the gospel walk down in their home every day. And it's hard and it's scary, but she processes things like you wouldn't believe, and she knows why we do it, and she can articulate why we do it. They need someone to love them for as long as we have them. They need someone to be Jesus to them. She can say these things, and she's 6. And I think probably one of my favorite stories that just resonated with me and made me know that this is okay, and she's gonna be okay, and God's gonna use this to grow her and mold her into who she's supposed to be, was that night that we were driving home from Carbondale from taking one of our little guys to his unsupervised time with his mom, and he was crying, and we were just weeks away from him returning home, and he was needing his mom, his bio mom, and he's just sitting there crying in the car, and she reached over in her little car seat and held his hand and sang, Jesus, Jesus, because she'd heard us rock her and all these other kids all these years and sing to them and pray with them. And she knew that the only thing that was going to comfort him in that moment was Jesus. And like that was her little 4.5-year-old way to give that to him. And he stopped crying. And then he started to sing along. I remember calling Riley after I got home and after I talked to Jason, and I was like, all I could think was, you just gotta drive. You can't cry, you gotta drive. But like, it was just this moment of not only is she gonna be okay, but she's gonna be so good at doing something for the kingdom someday because of these things that she's experiencing. God's gonna use that in her life in a huge way. And
we're nobody special.
No.
We're not. I mean, I'm a banker from Carterville, and she's a school teacher. We're just being obedient.
And I think like that word obedience has really come to mean a lot in this last year walking in community. We keep talking about community, but like you can be willing to do something once or twice, but that obedience is like habitually choosing to say yes, even when it's hard, even when it hurts, even when it sucks, and even when it's not what you want to do. Like willingness to me like has this fleshly quality to it of like, I can handle that. I'm okay with that. And that obedience, I think like we've chosen several times now to say yes to things that we didn't have any desire to do, but God's blessed that. And like we've seen His glory in those moments in ways that we couldn't have if we were just doing what we were comfortable with.